Hello, hello. I am just bursting with excitement for this series that I am bringing you 10 days to 10 years sober. Today is day 1, so in 10 days on May 3rd, I will have 10 years of continuous sobriety, which is just mind-blowing to me. Oh, wow, I'm getting emotional just saying that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, a decade of sobriety. Nearly a third of my life. I'll be 32 soon. I got sober when I was 21, almost 22. And 10 years is also special, not just because it's a decade, not just because it's double digits, but I have now been sober for as long as I drank and used drugs, which is kind of crazy. I drank and used for about 10 years, and I now have been sober for almost 10 years, which is nuts. So I thought it would be cool to celebrate this milestone by doing this special little mini series on the podcast, 10 days to 10 years. So every day between now and May 3rd, I am going to release a podcast episode, and they're all going to be sobriety and recovery focused. So we'll see how it all unfolds. Everything that I do on this channel is totally organic and in the moment. I thought about doing this as like a YouTube live series, but I decided that I did want to have it on the podcast as well. And the lives on YouTube, I just don't have enough traction really yet to make that work. And I think this series is going to be very impactful and might answer a lot of your questions and just kind of help a lot of people. So I decided to pre-record them, and then we'll release them each day for the 10 days. So some days I might tell you parts of my story with addiction and recovery. Some days I might drop little spiritual nuggets and lessons of things I've learned along the way. Some days I may talk about what sobriety looks for me today, and kind of what I'm working through and working with on my sober journey now, because it is a journey that has no destination. And I still have to put in the work, and I still have to show up to the healing, and I still have to do these things on a daily basis. So we'll get right into it. With turmeric tea, of course. So I think for today, I want to talk about the grateful alcoholic. This was something that I struggled with a lot when I was newly sober. Going to a lot of meetings and talking to a lot of people who had long-term sobriety, and, hearing over and over again, oh, I'm so grateful for my alcoholism, or, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a grateful alcoholic. I'm sitting there at 21 years old being like, how the hell could you possibly be grateful for this? Like, my life is over and I'm 21. Like, what the hell? Like, I am suffering right now. And I would give anything to not have this disease, to not be an addict, to not have to sit in these meetings with you people on a Friday night. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, maybe for you, like 60-year-old man, you're grateful to be an alcoholic, because like otherwise you would have no friends and nowhere to go on a Friday. But like, I am a young 21-year-old woman, and I have better places to be than this. And so I would really just roll my eyes. Like, every time someone would say they were a grateful alcoholic or they were grateful for their alcoholism, I would just be like, oh my God, okay, But, with time and growth and wisdom comes, perspective. And for me, I can say today that I am infinitely grateful for my alcoholism and my journey with addiction. And I am infinitely grateful for my recovery. And this is why. Struggling with addiction literally forced me onto the healing path. I ran myself into the ground and burned my life to the ground and destroyed everything that I loved and cared about by the age of 21. I was on a highway to hell, and I got there incredibly fast as a result of my addiction. And at the time, I obviously did not see that crashing and burning at 21 years old as a gift. But when I look around me today, I see a lot of people who I would say that they're suffering. You know, they're working jobs they hate. They're living very unfulfilled lives. They are taking medication to manage anxiety and depression, and they're not really seeing relief. You know, their symptoms aren't really going away. They're holding springs down. You know, they have a lot of road rage, or, you know, they have issues in their relationships, all this kind of stuff. And they're just managing. They're getting by. And, you know, by societal standards, a lot of these people are really successful. You know, they have high paying jobs. They might have, you know, the spouse and the children. They might have the nice cars. They might have the degrees, all of these things. But inside, they're sick and they're suffering. But it hasn't gotten bad enough for them yet that they recognize that they're suffering. And so they stay stuck in these cycles, and they never truly do the healing work that it takes to get free. And I'm sure that would have been me. Had I not burned my life to the ground and had to go to rehab at 21, had I not had literally no other options, because I didn't, had it not been a matter literally of life and death for me, I would not have said yes to all this healing work. I would not have gotten sober. I would not have discovered somatic healing. I would not have been able to get off psych meds. I would not be happy, joyous, and free the way that I am today. And, you know, that's not to say that after I, you know, stopped drinking and using, like, I picked up a lot of other addictions along the way. And some of them I'm only just putting down in the last 2 years or so. There's constantly more work to be done, and there's constantly, you know, higher levels to the game, and there's always deeper to go. But that initial life and death urgency that addiction creates is a gift. It's the gift of desperation. And when I arrived at rehab, I was absolutely desperate, and I would have done anything and everything to get better. And I will be forever grateful for the gift of desperation. I will be forever grateful for all of the people that reached out their hand to help me and mentor me early on. I'll be forever grateful for the selfless service of people who helped me at the very beginning. I will be forever grateful to myself for doing the hard work that this journey has constantly asked me over and over again to step up and do. I always feel every year on my sober birthday, I kind of feel like that Snoop Dogg speech where he's like, I'm going to thank me. I'm going to thank me for believing in me. I'm going to thank me for doing all this hard work, because it is hard work. I have had to excavate and excavate and excavate and excavate and empty myself and empty myself and empty myself and surrender and surrender and surrender over and over and over again on this journey. But I would not trade it for the world. And so for me today, 10 days away from 10 years sober, I say that I'm a grateful alcoholic, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because it forced me to get serious about my healing, and it forced me to get serious about my freedom, and it forced me to take radical responsibility for building my life from the ground up again over the last 10 years, and to repair those relationships that I had burned to the ground while I was out there using. So it's with infinite gratitude in my heart that I bring you the first episode of this little mini series. I'm so excited to share the next 9 episodes with you as well. Please tune in. If you have anyone who is struggling with addiction in your life, please share this with them. It might help them gain some inspiration, some hope, might connect some dots for them. And you can always write a question or anything in the comments, and I'm happy to engage in more conversation around this important topic with you. So share, subscribe to my channel, leave a review, all the things, and I'll be back tomorrow with more. Mwah.